Hey girl.
Hi, hola familia.
Hola, hola, hola.
Feliz año nuevo.
Yes, we made it through a whole year. 2023 is over and we're welcoming in a new year. 2024.
I know. Whew, 2024. Remember when they used to say that the world was going to end in 2020?
Yes, remember when we were in college in 2014? It's been a decade now.
I know. Fun
Wow.
fact, we met back in 2013, so it's going to be 11 years.
It is. Wow, we made our friendship a decade. That's so cute. But how was your New Year's?
It was just really good. I had all these things that I wanted to do, like traditional wise that people do, like el de las lentejas, like where you like get a puño of lentejas and just throw it and start like manifesting all these things. It didn't happen.
No,
no, like the lentejas just stay there, like not because I was like drunk or anything, like I just forgot, like it hit 12 and then I was just so happy to see all these fireworks that I was just like, oh, it's already 12:10. Too late.
Too late for that.
What about you?
So Kurt and I, we wanted to welcome the new year at camping. And so we booked a campsite at Schaefer Bend for 2 nights. And we only made it 1 night. Let me tell you why though. Déjame te digo por qué. So llegamos and it was really nice. You know, ahorita se está atardeciendo más temprano. So se está haciendo más oscuro. And so we started the campfire, we started eating and everything, and then when we're just chilling by the campfire, we start to hear these coyotes. Los coyotes están hunting. Yeah. Like we heard them attack maybe 10 times throughout the night, and every time I was like, does that sound like it was close? ¿Están cerca de nosotros?
Yeah, we're gonna be their dinner.
I was hoping not. And I had my dogs.
Oh,
también,
right.
And it was Coco's first time camping, like ever. So she did great, by the way. We thought we weren't going to be able to sleep because of her. We were really not able to sleep because the air mattress deflated overnight, and then Kurt was really stuffy. So my poor man, he was snoring a bit. And so every like 10, 20 minutes, I'd like wake him up. I was like, if I don't get any sleep, you don't get any sleep. So that was the first night. And then we were like, yeah, we're definitely not doing this again another night. Like we need our sleep. So we ended up staying there that night. And then the next day we kind of explored the Schaefer Bend, and I found a little piece of magic and I brought it home with me, a little arrowhead. And then, we just celebrated at home. I also didn't do any of the traditions.
I don't even think I wore any calzones in color.
Okay.
Funny thing about those calzones.
I mean, did you wear calzones?
Oh, yeah. Ni me acuerdo qué color traía ese día, like, to be honest. But my sister sent me this meme that it was un calzón floreado para que no te falten las plantas este año. I thought that was pretty funny.
That is, I mean, you have like a gazillion plantas.
I do.
So that would make sense.
That's one of my goals for this year is to watch them grow, give a little bit more nice, other good ones. But I mean, despite your camping stuff, it sounds like it was still good though.
It was. It definitely was. I'm not complaining. I thought it was really. It's an experience. It was funny. Because then we went home and we made some food and we just spent it at home. We drank some bottles of wine.
Bottles.
And that was fun.
Yeah.
So it was good.
Yeah. Nice. Well, what do you think were some of the good things that happened in 2023 for you?
In 2023, I think a lot of things happened. Well, in 2022, I got engaged. 2023, we booked our venue, we booked our DJ, we booked our ¿cómo se llama? Our decor person, who's also going to be the ¿cómo se llama? The bartenders and the
yeah.
the meseros and all that.
It's pretty much everything.
Pretty much everything. We just need all the smaller stuff, which I think is the more stressful part of it. We also restarted. Did I say restarted the podcast?
No, but we did.
But we restarted the podcast. I decided I needed some help, and so I think it's been great. And I launched a store, and then I decided to take it down, and it's relaunching again. But I'll tell you guys more about that at a later time. I've been starting to network more with others to kind of get out of my comfort zone. So I think I got out of my comfort zone a lot in 2023.
I definitely saw it. I saw you more. Like, I've been knowing Yesi for 10 years, so like I've been seeing her different faces of her, like, you know,
these faces.
And last year I did see her more social, more wanting to do things like maybe I didn't, like, you know, I didn't think Yesi would be down for it. Which, I mean, I feel like that's pretty cool. I feel like every year is a year for you to try new things. If you don't like it, okay, you can at least say,
yeah,
no funcionó, right? Or I didn't, or no me gustó. But it's nice. I feel like for me, 2023 was like half of it was nice, like just because we remodeled our home. Background story, like my siblings and I. So we remodeled our childhood home, and I feel like that took so much out of the year that like all those months are a blur for me, just because I feel like all the time that was into it. And I mean, like you said, with your wedding, it's the same thing with the house. But now we need the little things, which makes it a little bit more stressful because it's us that we need to do them, but we've just been putting them off.
Yeah. Sure.
But my niece was born in August, so it was nice. Now I'm a tia, which I'm really grateful for that. And my brother graduated. He got his bachelor's degree. And then I became part of this podcast, which I mean, I feel like that's really nice. It has showed, I have learned a lot from being part of the podcast. Now, talking more out in public, because I mean, I've always been like pretty social, pero a veces me da poquito penita. Like, I'm a little shy sometimes, and I feel like this has helped me to feel a little bit more confident in that.
Yeah, I think like for both of us, I think this has definitely helped us become more confident in ourselves. So yay for us. But yeah. Another thing is I came off my meds. That was big.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Like, it's been what? Like 4 months now?
It's been, I think I'm going into 3 months.
Okay.
But I think I'm starting to feel a little bit more not being on meds. So, but that's for later in this. But so because this is a New Year's focused episode, granted it's coming out the 16th.
What's coming out like in the middle of the year, like of
January.
Which, I mean, I feel like it's a great time to talk about the new year, because I feel like if we were to air this like right at the beginning of the year, I don't know about you, but once we start like January 1st, I don't have all my shit together.
Or at least you're trying to get your shit together. And I think maybe this will be helpful to kind of move forward and transition into getting your shit together.
Yeah. And or maybe you're a person who, whenever I was back in college, my professor, she used to celebrate the new year with the Chinese New Year, because she used to say that it will give her that extra few days to slack off. And like you said, also not only slack off, but also plan.
Yeah.
To either manifest or do the resolutions or adjust to this new year.
I agree.
So I think that's pretty cool. So like, if there's a lot of people out there who don't start the new year until like a certain time, I feel like this will come in very handy for them.
I agree. I think so too. Because bringing in a new year, at least for me, it was a lot of pressure this year. For some reason, I tengo esa idea de que necesito que la casa esté súper limpia, spotless, que todo esté brilloso by New Year's. And this year, I wasn't able to do that. So I think eso, not that I was disappointed, but I felt off. And I was like, pero it's just cleaning. Like, why are you stressing yourself over this? So I think this year is gonna encompass some of that también.
Yeah. And it will. I feel like manifesting was one of the big things for 2023 too, and I feel like you were a huge part of it. Like you reminding me, manifest it, and then I'm like, it's true. Like if you manifest it, if you believe in it, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's like I always say this to my kids: your brain hates being wrong, so it will do everything possible to be right. So if your brain believes I'm gonna, I don't know, become the president, your brain is gonna get you there. Like your willpower, you're gonna get you there, and you're feeding what gives. You're feeding your thoughts are feeding this idea, and so the more that you feed it, the more that you're gonna feel capable of doing this. Whereas if you think negatively about yourself, then you're gonna focus on that, and you're just not gonna do anything.
Yeah, for sure. And with that being said, Yesi shared this article about manifesting and using
it's called the 10-10-10 technique. And basically, you sit down, you really think about, like, no sé, prende unas velitas, pon música de frecuencia alta, and like just think about the things that you want and that you want to get to this next year. So the idea is that you make 3 lists of 10 items, each one. So you do like a column or whatever it is that you want to do, 1 through 10, 1 through 10, 1 through 10. In the first list, you're going to list out things that you desire, cosas que quieres que pasen. En la siguiente lista van a ser cosas que te sientes agradecida por tener, ya sea tu familia, ya sea tu casa, ya sea tu empleo, lo que sea. So think 10 things that you're grateful for. Y luego la tercera lista va a ser cosas que a ti te gusta hacer, cosas que encuentras joy en hacer, como alegría en hacer. So that third list is going to be things that you enjoy doing. And the idea is that if you keep your things that you desire in a place where you can read them every day, you automatically go into 10 things that you're grateful for. And if there's one thing that the universe loves, is gratitude. Si tú dices gracias por mi hogar, gracias por mi familia, te estás enfocando en una frecuencia más alta y eso va a ayudar a traer más cosas buenas a tu vida, más cosas similares. Porque si te enfocas en cosas que te hacen falta y tienes esa como idea de que me hace falta, tengo esta necesidad todo el tiempo, te va a dar más de ese sentido en el universo. Like, give you more loss in your life. And then the 10 things that you enjoy. So when you're not feeling the desire and you're not feeling gratitude, then you can go into the 10 things that you enjoy doing so you can get back into that vibration, into that space of gratitude and desire.
I started doing it whenever Yesi sent it over. She sent it to our friends and myself, and I thought it was really cool. Like, and even in the article it says the things that you desire. Like, obviously, like when we think about the things that we desire, we think big, right? And it's good to think big. And it says that in the article. It could be as simple as your dream car, or as a new pair of shoes that you've been wanting,
or a house, or peace and love.
It could be as like material stuff, or it could be as maybe you desire to go on a family vacation or something like that. So, guys, give this a try. I mean, let us know if you do try it.
Yeah.
I feel like Yesi said, she explained it really well, that the universe wants the good for you.
Yes.
And you also want the good for you too. So just manifesting it and pushing through and be like, yes, I'm gonna get there. Or even if you don't get fully there, just think back and be like, I'm a step ahead than I was before.
Es como, yeah, exactly, porque estás empezando a planear. Like, you're starting to plan, you're starting to think more about it. You're starting to actively be in the space of, I'm gonna get this. Y es como dice, como va el dicho de que está todo el tiempo de Dios o del universo, en mi caso, you know?
Yeah.
So, tú puedes tener tu propio plan, pero también tener en mente de que no siempre va a salir como nosotros queremos. Quizás va a estar presente o se va a hacer en real en la forma en que Dios o el universo lo quiere.
That is really true, porque a veces, como muchos, como dicen, ¿verdad? Los tiempos de Dios son perfectos y a veces uno dice, el universo me lo dio ahora. It's because maybe at the time that you were trying to do it, maybe it wasn't the right time.
Yeah.
Maybe you were not prepared for it, or maybe there was something there that you were not gonna have like 100% of it. So that's one of the reasons why I'm a great believer that things happen for a reason. Las cosas pasan por una razón, and that shouldn't be like a way of like, oh, pues no se me dio, so I'm not gonna do it again.
Yeah.
And that was me. I never used to like do resolutions or manifesting ni nada de eso for the new year. For the same reason, I'm like, why? Para que nomás estén ahí guardadas las cosas. But it's because I would just write them down. I would just say them, but I would never really work for it. Quería que me cayeran y que ay, qué bueno fuera, ¿verdad? Que me cayeran.
I think everyone wants that.
But I
quiero una enchilada.
But that's one of the things that you can guys try. Another one that Yesi was talking about was a 10-week year.
12-week year.
12?
Yeah, 12-week year. So this is something that I kind of tied into manifestation and also the vision boards that we'll talk about, because this helps us really align with our goals for the year. Like, you know, we make our resolutions every year and then we kind of forget about them. You know, like we don't do much about them, or we keep one in mind, like, okay, this is what we're going to do. Y a lo mejor lo hacemos por un mes o 2 meses y luego ya después de eso, like, se nos olvida, right? Or we lose motivation.
Yeah.
Because it's such a long time.
It is.
365 days to see the fruit of what you're doing and to reflect on it.
366.
Oh, 360 this year. 366 days, un día más, para ver el fruto de lo que has estado haciendo todo el año. Es mucho. So, la idea es que durante la semana las 12 semanas, que sea como un año, como que hagas todo lo que tú dijiste en un año. Y la idea es pones tus metas, so you set your goals for the year. And then you break down the year in 12 weeks. So that would be like a quarter. So that's about like 3 months, 4 months.
Right.
So let's say the first 12 weeks, maybe you look at your whole goals, and then you break those into like, okay, how is this going to be broken down into maybe 12 weeks each time? So let's say I want to, you know, get nice and snatched for the wedding. And so we know the wedding is in the last quarter. It's in November. So that leaves me with 3 quarters to work with. So that means maybe in the first quarter, I break it down so small that I'm doing actionable things each week and each day to work towards this thing. And then at the end of that quarter, you get to see, like, what did I do? How dedicated was I to this goal? What things physically can I keep track of? Like, if it's losing weight, I don't really focus on the scale. I focus most on like your measurements and stuff. So maybe I measure my waist and see if I drop 2 inches or not. And if I don't make that goal, I assess, did I do this with the same dedication that I want to, like, to keep going? Or do I need to change something in the way that I'm executing this to reach my goal? So the idea is to just kind of break your goals, your yearly goals, so small to a 12-week to where you're planning each week and each day of working towards this one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And if it is fitness, maybe it's every day that you're working, maybe it's 3 days out of the week. So you don't necessarily have to put each day that you're working into this. It's just every week, just think about how much dedication you want to put into this one goal of yours.
I like that. And I feel like that helps for those people who are like me, que se nos olvidan las cosas. Like, you know, like I was one of those that I will write down my goals. I will write down like all these things that I want to do, or even if I didn't write them down, I will have them in my head, and I'll be like, okay, this year I want to like be more active in fitness or whatever, or something like that. So then I will forget about it. Ya estoy atascada comiendo lo que sea. Ya se me olvida.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is really good. I'm gonna try it. I feel like it's a good way to also be like validate, not validate, ¿cómo se dice esa palabra? Like where you're kind of like more
keeping accountable.
There you go.
So if you guys are wanting more information and a thorough breakdown of what the 12-week year is, I've started listening to the audiobook on Spotify. You know, if you have Spotify Premium, you have audiobooks available to you. And it's called The 12-Week Year, Get More Done in 12 Weeks Than Others Do in 12 Months by Brian P. Morin and Michael Lennington.
You can just share it. We'll put it in the description box. That way, if you guys are interested in like listening to the audiobook, if you want to get more information about it,
or just reading it, because I think like even if you don't get it done within these first 12 weeks, like you still have 3 quarters to go through.
Exactly.
So it's not. It's not. I think it's a good idea to at least read it and see if you want to implement it or not in different aspects. Whether it's personal, at work, or just like with podcast.
That's one of the things that we were talking about doing for the podcast.
Yeah.
Do the 12-week goals and kind of like checking in with the crew, not just the 2 of us, but with producer, with our manager, Annabelle. And we were talking about like doing that as a way of like holding ourselves accountable for the podcast as well.
Yeah.
Making sure that we're putting as much as dedication that you guys deserve and that we want to as well, because we want to do all these things for you guys in the podcast, but
sometimes life gets in the way.
Life gets in the way, and like we have a full-time job that sometimes like, you know, it gets to the point that you're just like, I'm tired. But I love recording. It gives me like a little bit of like, I don't know, like it's fun.
It makes it better, I think.
Yeah, and just having that little push like that, it's good.
And another thing in regards to manifesting, and I think I actually manifested Kurt.
I think you did.
Because so I always heard, and this is a method that I have heard as part as well, is that the way to manifest your love is to be being very intentional in what kind of love that you want. And so what I did, because I heard someone at one of the podcasts that I had heard or something, they said to write down every characteristic that you want your future partner to have, whether it's someone who's peaceful, whether it's someone who is caring, loving, selfless, not jealous, secure themselves, got some monies. Like every characteristic that you want, you put it on a piece of paper, you write it down, because the writing of something is so powerful. And so you write it down and then you fold it, and I think I buried it in the ground. And so you bury it in the ground and you just put it out into the universe that you want this, and it'll come to you. And so I swear to you, if I had that piece of paper and I look at my fiance and say like, what characteristic does he have? And like, granted, they will give you what you need, because you also need to be challenged. So if everything's all go good and go lucky, like you're not going to be challenged a lot, right? So I think I was given what I needed, and that marked a lot of the boxes in my list. Not all of them, because he's not Hispanic and he's not Spanish speaking. Pero that's a challenge that I'm willing to go through with him and kind of like work through over not having all these other ones.
And I do think that it's a challenge for you in a way of like the whole Spanish part, but it's not a
He's open to learning, so
it's not an issue because I mean, whoever has met Kurt, he's like down for like learning and all of these things, which it's really nice to be like, they did challenge Yesi on having someone that she wanted and she desired and she manifested. But with a little bit of a challenge, but a challenge that they're willing to work together.
Yeah, and I think that's what's important. So I don't know. I would suggest try it. It doesn't hurt to try. So if you are feeling, again, prende una velita
What's the
blanca.
worst thing that could happen? No pasa nada.
Yeah.
I mean, whether you do it or not, you're still gonna like, if you do it and it doesn't work, it's gonna be like if you never did.
Yeah, and don't keep going to your toxic person. Part of manifesting this and wanting someone to come into your life means that you have to let go of things that make you uncomfortable or are not good for you. And that means letting go of people that you're used to, because expecting my tóxico to be a tóxico is comfortable. It's not, it's not nice and it hurts, but you know what to expect with a tóxico, whereas like finding a new person. So if you're wanting to get rid of the tóxico, let him go. Don't put the characteristics he has that are toxic into this paper, and just wait it out.
We have to help the universe or God here. They're not going to do everything for us.
Yeah.
Whatever you believe in, whether it's God or the universe, we have to help them out. They can't do everything for us.
Yes. So say goodbye to the tóxico or tóxica.
Yes, for sure. The next one is vision boards. The first time I ever did a vision board was when I started my job that I'm at right now. I remember this was like 4 years ago, and I remember I have heard of a vision board before, but I never really give into the idea of creating a vision board for myself. And I still have that vision board. I have it at my office, and I still have it there. And I started back in 2019, but I created it for 2020, and I still have my 2021 there. And it's just like a way of reminding myself as a vision board. And now I'm going digital, so I created mine on my iPad. So it's pretty cool. I feel like vision boards is kind of like how we were talking about holding ourselves accountable, putting it in a spot, whether it's in the background of your phone or in your iPad or your computer, anywhere where you're gonna see it is like a way of like, oh, that's right, every day. That I did say that I was gonna, like for me, I wanna eat more veggies and eat a little bit more like, I don't think I eat bad, but I just like eat a little bit more healthier inside. So I have like a thing of like vegetables and stuff. So it's like a way of reminding me, do I want those chips or do I want that apple? Like, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
I agree. And one thing about vision boards too is like everything that we're stating is like you have to be very intentional about what you're doing. So you can't just, you could, but it's not the best idea to just put things together like, oh, this looks nice, right? There has to be a true intention behind it. Like if you are wanting to manifest more money into your life, like what is that going to do for you? Are you doing it just because you want all the material things in your life? Or are you doing it because you want to feel that sense of safety and security financially and not have to worry whether you're going to have to pay rent next week or not? So when doing a vision board and manifesting your love in the 12-week year, and even like and doing the 10-10-10 activity, like really just sit down, reflect, put, como dije, pon música, prende una velita, like go deep in those fields and really think about why it is that you desire these things. You are allowed to desire el carro del año si lo quieres, but why?
You are desired to get a new home. or whether it's a trip
Yeah.
or those shoes, whatever
Yeah.
it is.
Like, what is this going to bring to you? Like, is getting the new car going to be sort of like a reward for accomplishing something, or is it because you want your neighbor to kind of see that you have more? You know, like, it's really important to be very intentional about these things, because it's your life. You have to treat it with intentionality and with love. So,
You couldn't have said it better.
thank you.
I feel like Yesi's your go-to girl for manifesting resolutions, goals.
Thanks. I haven't done any of it yet, but I'm getting there.
And that's the true thing about manifesting. You want to be true to yourself about it too.
Yeah.
And we're sharing all of this not because we do it all the time, or at least for myself, but it's a great idea to maybe start a new tradition. Maybe
with
start
family and stuff.
with family. Like I talked to my therapist about it, and I was telling her how like I don't really do resolutions or anything like that. And then she was like, well, you don't have to call it resolutions. You can just call them check-ins. And I like that. Like having like how you said, the 12-week year, maybe check-ins with yourself.
Yeah.
With your partner, with your family, with your friends, with your job, whatever it is.
And I think this gives you an opportunity to just dream of the life that you want. You know, like really think about like what kind of life you want, because I don't know about you guys, but I want a life of peace where I don't have to get up every morning and go to work. I can just go outside, estar descalza, I don't know, feed my little piggies, run around with my kids when I get older. Like, that's what I want. I want a life of paz y tranquilidad.
Yeah.
And no love trips. But but I think this gives you a really good opportunity and some perspective into really looking at what you want.
Definitely. So, with that being said, what do you think is your mood for this year?
I think my mood for the year is, well, this is the 29th birthday.
No.
And as much fun that I want, and I'm also getting married, so it's a really big year for me, and I'm very excited and very happy. I think this is gonna be a year of growth. And what I mean by that is this is the first year in like 4 or 5 years that I've been without medication for my depression, and I'm already starting to feel like I'm getting teary right now. Like challenges with it. Like some days I get really tired, I get really sleepy, and sometimes it's hard to get out of bed. So I think I'm gonna do a lot of growing in that sense. And I think it's gonna take, because when I think about me being off medication, I feel like I have to really like keep in mind like what is good for me, and that means setting limits and boundaries. Setting limits and boundaries. Setting limits and boundaries with people that I love, whether it's my parents, whether it's my best friends, whether it's work. So I'm having to set all these boundaries, and it's uncomfortable, as we've talked about. So I think, in a sense, 2024 is going to be this year of growth for my mental health.
And I do see it, and I feel like you're going to have a lot of, like, just getting married. It's a huge new chapter of your life. I know that you've been living with Kurt for a while already, but it's different. Like now it's official. Like, you know, now you're married. You're like, I don't know. I see like marriage as a huge new chapter for someone.
It is.
And but for myself, my 29th birthday as well. I feel like I was talking to my therapist about it, and I'm like, I don't mind getting older. Like, I mean, it does give me like a little bit of nostalgia, and then like me pongo triste thinking that we're getting older, and but I feel good. Like, you know, I feel very young, and I feel like there's still so many things that I can still do no matter despite the age. You know, and that's what I want to that's my mood for this new year. Like new changes. Like I want to change physically so I can make it to more years. Like physically, like with my health and stuff.
Mhm.
Emotionally, I feel like I'm in an emotional state now with therapy that emotionally and mentally, I feel like therapy has helped me a lot.
Shout out, Veronica.
For real. It has helped me a lot to feel more good about myself in a way of like not taking like not feeling responsible for other people's actions. I feel like that's one of the things that I learned a lot last year. Like not feeling guilty for others' behavior, or not feeling like upset for other people's actions. Like,
Yeah.
not like not wanting to control things that you can't control.
Right.
And that's my mood for this year again, to continue that. And with that being said, focusing more on myself. I'm also thinking about going back to school, which is one of my big things for this year. Is like doing some research and stuff. I know, like Yesi said, is going to be a huge challenge, but I'm manifesting it because it's something that I really want and I really desire, and I really feel like I'm very grateful that I have the resources and the friends and everyone to get there. I know it's going to be a little bit hard to adjust, but we'll worry about that when it happens, right? So I'm really excited for this new year, and I'm really grateful for this episode and for everything that Yossi shared and giving us that motivation to push forward.
Yeah, no, I just have to do it all. Which I will. I'll share my vision board, and I'll share some of my 10 things, and kind of maybe we can do a series of us like constantly checking in on the 12-week year and all that stuff. So
I like that. I feel like once our episodes air, like if it hits the 12th week, be like, how's your 12th week going? Or like stuff like that. It'll be nice so that we can also help other people hold themselves accountable in a way of like, oh, that's right, I had that list that I started and I never finished, or that's right, I'm almost there, or I was doing so great and then life got in the way that I forgot about it.
Yeah, so
life happens. You can be doing so great for 12 weeks and then downhill again. And, I mean, it's life, and you're human and you're allowed to do that, and just give yourself grace.
Yes, always. I think this is a good point. Be in the lookout for new episodes. We have some amazing guests.
I know.
We have some episodes that we recorded last year, like late last year, that are going to be coming out this year, and then we're going to keep going with that. So, yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning in again, and share. One of our big things is to touch more chingonas and chingones and lloronas or llorones hearts out there. So just share. If you have your coworker be like, hey, I found this amazing podcast. These girls are chingonas as fuck.
And a little bit lloronas too.
Like, you should listen to them.
But yeah, share us.
We're gonna try to be more active on socials too, hopefully.
And in the community.
So stay tuned on that too. But thank you guys. We love you, and remember que aquí sí lloramos.